Hey everybody, you're watching Cole the Cornstar. Today we're going to be continuing work on the big machine shed.
Hey there, Cole. We're just kind of getting things started. Got the right tools, it makes it a lot easier.
Last week we got smacked by 100-mile-an-hour winds and it ripped the roof off our big machine shed, so today we're going to be fixing that.
Hey, I see you haven't liked the video yet, so don't forget to hit the like button up.
Any guess what this costs?
$164.
It's pretty close.
You don't think of that when you're building something, how a little bucket full of screws can cost that much.
On a new house, we'll go through 3 of these, easy, and then probably 8 to 10 boxes of nails. So you'll have, in a new house, 2,000 at least in fasteners.
Something you don't think about when you build new stuff.
I know we were really lucky to get this wood. We actually had to have kind of improvised 2x12s. These are micro lambs. Lambs. Well, these are basically a stronger form of a 2x12, and they're also more expensive. Yesterday we got all this tin pulled off because we have 2 rafters that are destroyed. So we're gonna be working on those this morning. So what we're gonna do to try to straighten these rafters back out, we got the 2x12 and we're gonna sandwich it around this bottom board, then we're gonna drive a bolt through it, so that'll take care of these broken spots. We have to do that on the bottom board, as well as that top one.
There is no top one.
Well, what would have been left of the top one.
We're making a new one.
That one over there is all fragmented up. We'll just sandwich that together and it'll be good as new.
Holy buckets.
So before we can do any rebuilding, we need to make sure that these 2 rafters that are broken are the same height as the other ones. Right now our measurements are saying the good ones are 221 inches and the bad ones are about 217. So Daddy Cornstar is in the telehandler lifting up that rafter, and then Justin has a board running vertical, and once we get that to 221 inches, we'll drill that in and that'll hold it up. And we have to do that for 2 of them.
We're almost at 219.
Slow and easy I'm going. Every little creak right now, your heart kind of goes.
Let's slide it this way a little bit.
Whoa. Cooper had to run into town, he picked up some more wood, because we needed some for these little ziggy parts. Geometry?
Yeah.
Well, we got the boys back home. They're working on the big machine shed yet. I hated to leave them. We got a funeral coming up, so we got to dig a grave today. Neva went down to get the skid loader. She is going to help me, so she's a lifesaver. We're kind of in a little tighter area here in the cemetery. I actually had to move a stone out of the way so I can actually get in. Sometimes between the stones, it may look like a long ways, but to get in, it makes it hard. That's why someday we would love to get a little mini excavator. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna take our time, do it right. I want to get off and measure the grave to see how deep it is. We need to go 6 foot deep and 8 foot long. The guy that marks these graves at this cemetery, his name is Larry. He found a couple graves that has settled a little bit. He walked around with me, we put a flag by him. Now is the time to touch them up while we got some fresh dirt. So let's go over here, set things up, and go get some good dirt and get these touched up. Like here, it may not look like much of a dip, and it might only be 2 inches, but when we can put some fresh dirt on it, get it all looking nice, and then put some new grass seed on it, it just looks nice. We're really lucky today. The dirt is some of the best dirt we can work with right now. It's mellow, it's dry, but it's moist. It's just raking out so nice. We'll hit this one over here now. We got one more here to touch up, and then we're gonna head back to the farm. But what a beautiful day to get this done. Justin's up there complaining because he's got a cramp in his leg. But when you get a leg in your cramp, it does hurt. You just gotta walk it off, walk it off.
We got one rafter done, now I got the other. Overall, I'm pretty happy with what we got done from a construction perspective today. When it comes to construction stuff, you can spend an entire day doing something and you look at what you got done and you're like, did we even do anything? Today was kind of one of those days. We started by setting this rafter to its appropriate height, and then we ended up slapping another 2x12 against that, so that is two 2x12s thick. This first rafter is completely done. We're gonna drill through all the new stuff that we added in and put these big old bolts through it. Justin does work full-time as a carpenter during the week, so he comes and helps us on the weekend. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to put a lot of this on hold until next weekend. But when it comes to things like drilling, shoving in bolts, or putting up these last few pieces of bracing, we shouldn't have any issue doing that. Dad, what are you doing?
I'm just hanging around. I'm working on the backhoe back here. One of the hydraulic hoses must have got a little hole in it, and I'm having a hard time getting that little rascal off. And then as I'm working on it, I keep getting phone calls. I needed to remeasure some tin on the building roof, and then had a few questions there I had to run up. So about every time I get down here, I get a call and I have to go back up on the roof or do some measuring. We're gonna try this again. Oh, let's see. I just don't want to bend my piping. God, yeah, it went. Woo-hoo. This weekend, while we've been working on the shed, we are just glad that it's not hotter than dog toenails. I wanted to get the Case 340 Magnum put away in the planter. I figure there's no use of it sitting out. I think Cole is trying to get a little bit of lumber put in the shed yet that we got sitting out. But I was just thinking while I was getting in the tractor, right here, these are a special mat. It is a custom fit floor mat for this tractor. You should get on the link down below. You get $15 off of these mats when you order using Cole's code. The nice thing is about these floor mats here too, if you spill anything on them, you can just take them out. They're very flexible. They'll custom fit it for just about any tractor.
I'm a bit constructioned out for a day, so I'm gonna grab the skid loader and I'm gonna load some of this metal into the dump truck. I need to get this area clean. That way I can run the real disc out here in the yard, because I'm starting to get some grass and weed pressure going on. I wanna be able to seed my yard here in a few weeks, and I still have some tile mounds I need to take care of. I have some low spots, I have some high spots. My front ditch still needs some work, but I can't do that stuff until I real disc it. So let's start cleaning this up. Dump truck sure got a nice load on it. I have big bulky stuff in here right now, which is a little bit annoying because you can't pack it very tight. What do? It needs to go to the junkyard one way or another. Now with our last few minutes of daylight, I'm going to address all this stuff that has tires on it. Pretty sure there's something like 18 tires right here. I can't bring them to the scrapyard if they have tires on them. So I got a handy dandy impact. We're gonna do some damage. This is how I'm gonna get my NASCAR pit crew credentials. Oh yeah. Dad just came up to me, said he wants to go home, so I guess we're gonna call it an early night. We have our work cut out for us. Slowly but surely, this is all gonna be picked up, and before we know it, this is gonna be a really nice lawn. I'm looking forward to it.